in my first set of exercises, I'm thinking about flexibility of sound. So I've organized these dominant sevenths that are in C minor. So the G dominant seventh for us to work on in the high register, just for flexibility and flow between the octaves. And it's going to go something like this. I'm going to set the metronome to 92, which is the recommended speed of the Kohler etude, just about here. And this is the first exercise. So after I play those, I feel a little bit more supported in my sound, and I feel a little bit more focused in the tonality of C minor. So the second exercise that I have is basically a very simple and very traditional exercise. It's the minor version of the Exercice Journalier number 2. And I'm going to just do on C minor a series of technical exercises. And this is basically just going from the first degree of the scale to the fifth and back very smoothly. Okay, so here goes. Again, set the metronome. Same thing in the higher octave. And after I do that, I feel warmed up in the lip, and I also feel like my right hand and my left hand are working together and they're synced up. The next exercise is just a flexibility exercise and a tuning exercise in the high register and outlining that fifth of C to G again. And I just ascend chromatically with the G as a pedal tone or a non-changing note in the sequence. And it goes like this. First time, slow, second time, twice as fast. Still at 92. So that is kind of the conclusion of my flexibility exercises. The next exercise that I have is what I humorously refer to as go for the money notes. And that's inspired by two people who I've worked with, Jeannie Backstresser, my teacher, and also Jim Walker, who talked about this both in very different ways, of course. And I remember Miss Baxter saying that a long note is a chance to make something very beautiful. So, and Mr. Walker would always talk about go for the money notes, and I always just really appreciated that when I got to a long note. I just thought of a big fat piggy bank. So in this hler, anything that's longer than a quarter note is a money note. Even a quarter note could be a money note, really. So I've arranged an exercise where you do the first time through without vibrato and the second time with vibrato. And you really just focus on having core in the sound and direction in the sound without vibrato. And when you add the vibrato, you spin the sound up and and you create an even more beautiful sound. But the rule about using vibrato is that first you have to have a strong and supported basic sound. And, you know, bone structure comes before glitter. So, you know, think of the vibrato as the sort of pretty paint, and then the bone structure is kind of the core of the sound, the quality of the sound. So these are the notes that I found in the hler. And I'm not going to do this one with the metronome because I just want to kind of listen. So that is the bone structure glitter exercise for the money notes. And then I'm going to take out my tuner because I want to make sure when I'm playing this hler, when I go into the trio section of the key change in the A flat major part, I want to make sure that my new note, D flat, doesn't go sharp. And D flat on the flute is just a really, you know, not a whole lot to the fingering. We just have the D sharp key down. So I just want to make sure that the D flats or C sharps don't go very sharp. They have a tendency to really go through the roof for younger players because younger players don't necessarily have the experience with the embouchure and the oral cavity to really be able to produce a round, rich, and in tune D flat. So this is even difficult for me, I will admit. And bear with me, I'll do my best to show you. I'm going to do 4 D flats at different dynamic levels with my tuner. And when I go from the soft to loud, I'm going to just start focusing on really centering the sound and blowing down into the flute and opening the jaws, especially as the dynamic increases. I want the space in my mouth to increase more, and I want my support to become even broader. So as I get louder, I have to work a little harder on stability and control. But it's a great exercise and will give you a lot of control over your sound. So the last thing I wanted to talk about in the etude were about the mordents. The mordents are the lightning bolts that are horizontal in the piece, and they come up in those subito piano measures in the A flat section. And those mordents, basically, you take the note that they're written on, you go up one wiggle and back down, almost like just a little piece of a trill. So, ba-da-dum. And I like to do my mordents on the beat in this etude. I think it kind of fits the style and the spirit of it. So they go like this. And that you'll see. Well, these are all of my exercises for preparing the kohler. Another tip that I have for you is to really think of blowing through the line and starting the vibrato immediately when the notes settle to eighth notes, so that you don't have da 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 da, but you have da da dee da da dee dum dee da dee, in that way. And I think that that improves the sound. So I hope that this is useful, and good luck with your kohler. Thanks for watching.